Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. Purple and white, but you know what I mean. Double 11 senior year made history. Football, we took it to the playoffs. Collegeville, white and purple, yeah, we are the K-House. I said the K-House, the school of champions. We laugh a lot, we rap a lot. I'm at Sabia, Indian. Again, I'm telling them that Collegeville is where it's at. So when we on the field of court, they better be aware of that. They scared of that. Of course, look at the ceiling. What up, Mr. Ford? Yeah, it's Collegeville. And yes, I'm glad to say that I'm a K-Hawk. I'm about to graduate. Yeah. You know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
White and purple, yeah, I know you see it. You see the chaos and you tell yourself you wanna be it. I go to CHS, so I am a champ. I ran this game so long I'm starting to get a stomach cramp. Class of 1-2, but we're number one. Shout out to all my juniors, yeah, you know we get it done. White and purple, you already know. It's still easy peasy and that boy lay low.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
I'm by my white and purple, Scarface and DJ Screw. We on the peak of the mountain, best at what we do. Yeah, we the champs, homie, but we ain't selling shoes. These boys bleeding purple, call us the cheapest crew. They don't gotta do it big, cause I don't play no sports. I play my cards right. Now a good report. When Dub 12 comes, it's time to roll off. I'm the back cause everybody rolling with me, K-Hawks.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Look, all the freshmen, all the fresh sophomores,
High school, champions.
yeah, they know what it is.
All around my town, everything is
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
we shut it down for the school and the sports team.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
And a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Kahok Stadium here on the campus of Collegeville High School. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. The sun is out, the rain has stopped, and we have a little Lady Kahok soccer action for you today as your Collegeville Kahawks get ready to take on the Columbia Lady Eagles. And again, my name is Todd Duke. Welcome into the pregame show brought to you today by Chiropractic Works in Collegeville, owned and operated by Dr. Chris McCluskey. He and his crew are focused on helping as many people as possible live high-quality lives, all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collegeville, 410 Regency Center. That is just off of the Beltline Road in Collegeville. Give them a call, 618-343-3602, or online at chiropracticworkscollegeville.com. And a very belated happy birthday there to Dr. Chris McCluskey. He celebrated his birthday yesterday. Of course, I texted him and told him happy birthday, but since we're on the air now, I figured I'd do a little belated happy birthday to the good old Doc. All right, Collegeville coming into this game at 0-4-1 under their second-year head coach Jody Munoz, who brings with her now a record of 5-21-2. They will be facing Columbia, who comes in at a perfect 4-0 on the young season under their head coach Jamie Bridges, who is now into his 8th year as the head coach of Columbia and has a record of 111 wins, 29 losses, and 5 ties. Kahawks are coming off of back-to-back conference losses after a 5-0 road loss at Edwardsville Tuesday night and a 2-1 loss here against Belleville East on Thursday night. The Lady Kahawks did pick up their first goal of the year in that 2-1 loss when senior defender Kira Van Dyke scored in the first half against the Lady Lancers. Belleville East had the lead at that time, and the goal by Kira tied the game at 1-1. It stayed that way into the second before Belleville East got the go-ahead goal right around the 70-minute mark and then held on for the 2-1 win. Columbia, they are off to a hot start by winning their first 4 games of the season. First time they've done that since 2019. That team, by the way, started with a 9-game winning streak and only lost twice all year and went all the way to win the Class 1A state championship. This year, the Eagles are coming off of a 6-0 clean sheet against Jabot. Columbia with wins over 3 other parochial schools, 5-2 over Mater Dei to open the year, 4-2 win over Father McGivney, and a 5-4 win at Alton Marquette. And the Eagles have outscored their 4 opponents so far this year, 20-8. All right, we continue with our conversations with the seniors from this year's Lady Kahawks squad, and up next is one Miss Jordan Gary, and my conversation with the Kahawk senior midfielder will come your way next as the Chiropractic Works pregame show continues here on the Kahawk Sports Network.
The Ortho Gold TRT tissue regeneration machine is revolutionary new technology. It's known as a shockwave machine. In the hospital setting, it's lithotripsy. The machine looks sort of like an ultrasound head, but it's much different technology. It drives sound waves into tissue at 3,500 miles an hour. It's a 3 to 5 minute non-invasive treatment. This is revolutionary technology. It's great for acute, which means, injured tissue, new injuries per se. Also chronic conditions. We have many people who have canceled knee replacements and shoulder replacements and treated lots of plantar fasciitis, foot, ankle problems. Overall, the OrthoGold TRT soft wave machine is revolutionary technology. We've been very excited about our practice, and we've already helped a tremendous amount of people with it, and we're looking forward to helping a lot more.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking. Conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage, for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site, right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville, 618-855-8027, or online at oldheraldbrewing.com. Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS class of 99, want to wish all of our Kahawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Hashtag Kahok Family.
My name is Rayshawn Taylor, collegiate basketball player at SIUE. At the end of January, I had an ACL injury. I've been searching for ways to come back as best as I can after the construction. Dr. Chris introduced me to the Shockwave machine. I'm gonna be honest, at first I was kind of scared because I didn't want it to shock me and hurt me too bad. And I had heard something about it and I did my research on it, and it turns out it didn't actually hurt. It just was a good pain. It just finding where it hurts to promote the healing, and that's exactly what it did. I've actually had this surgery before. This time I feel like I'm back on my feet quicker, much faster. I'm much stronger than I was up to this point last time. And honestly, I feel like I could play right now. I'm excited to get back on the court. Thankful that Dr. Chris introduced me to this.
And we welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. The rain has moved away. We got some sun, a few clouds. Not a bad day for some soccer as your Lady Kahawks get ready to take on the Columbia Lady Eagles. We continue our senior interviews. Joining us now, number 23 in your program, Jordan Gary, senior midfielder, also played a little Kahawk basketball. All right, let's start with the family. I know that you lost your dad a few years ago. Your mom, Julie, I know very well. And you guys have seemed to have grown closer over the last few years. So tell me a little bit about your family, and don't leave out the siblings. That's the one thing about your family I really don't know about.
Okay, yeah, so my mom and I are super close. She's a Notre Dame grad. She played volleyball there, excuse me. Yeah, I love her to death. I have two older brothers. Elijah's 21, he lives in Kentucky, and then Isaiah's 26, and he lives around here.
All right, tell me about pets.
I have a husky named Wolfpack, Wolfie for short. Me and my mom actually got matching tattoos on my 18th birthday for her. Yeah, that's my only pet. I've had more, but yeah, that's my best friend.
All right, so you play soccer, you played basketball, but you haven't done that for the last couple of seasons. So tell me, first of all, about the basketball. Where did that love come from?
Mostly my mom. I started playing junior K-Hawks when I was in second grade, I think, and she was my first coach, actually. And then I went to grade school at Good Shepherd, and she was my coach there, and we made a few state runs and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely got the love of the game from my mom.
What about the soccer side of things?
I honestly don't really know. My mom always said she wishes she played soccer when she was little, but I think that was kind of just one of those things where I tried it when I was little and kind of stuck with it, so.
All right, let's move on to my favorite part. It's called My Favorite Things, so these are your favorite things. All right, favorite music genre?
It's a tie between, like, country music and pop, like everything you hear on the radio.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Okay, that's hard. I'm probably, like, tied for Taylor Swift, obviously, Luke Combs, and I really like Christian music, so Brandon Lake.
All right, snack time. Favorite sweet snack?
I just argued with my teammates about this one. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Favorite salty snack?
Barbecue kettle cooked Lay's.
That's specific. All right, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, what's your favorite?
Probably breakfast.
What is it and who cooks it?
My mom and chocolate chip pancakes.
All right, let's talk about school for a little bit. What is your least favorite class in high school?
My least favorite class in high school currently is biology.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about your favorite class?
Probably English.
Don't usually get that one. Usually that's reserved for the history heads and the math heads. All right, let me ask you this. If you could visit a decade from the 1900s, which decade would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's so hard. Okay, I'd probably visit the 90s because I would want to go back and see how my dad lived and, like, how he grew up and came to be how he was.
That's a pretty good answer. All right, if you could have a sit-down dinner with any famous person in the world, who would you sit down with?
Okay, definitely Martin Luther King Jr. because, once again, like, I've grown up going to Memphis and stuff, and I've, like, seen all the history books there, and so I think it'd just be cool to sit down with him and, like, talk about the civil rights movement and stuff like that.
That would be very cool. All right, let's talk about your future. You are going to SLU to play some soccer. Tell us how all that came about.
So I committed July 17th. Super excited to be a Billiken. The coaching staff there was really welcoming, and obviously they're from around here, so they've been watching me play for a little bit, and it just felt really comfortable and easy to talk to them. And all the girls are amazing. I have a recruiting class of 10, including myself, and that's 5 from here and then 5 from out of town. But like I said, all the girls there are amazing too. They really recruit good people first, which is what I really like. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's an up-and-coming program, too. They're going to be really good. All right, talk to me about this current Lady Kahok soccer team. You guys are struggling a little bit. How do you dig out of that hole?
I think one thing the coaches have really talked to us about is being positive and showing up every day and working hard. Obviously, I think our first game was really good. Everybody was really excited about the season. And then once you hit a wall, I think everybody's heads dropped. So I think as long as we keep working, keep showing up to every game, because every day is a new day. And I think we can turn around the season as long as we start it now.
Anybody you want to say hi to?
Hi, Mom. That's basically it, yeah.
That was better than Kira. I don't know. I don't want anybody to say hi to. Thank you for the visit, dear. Good luck in the future. Good luck at SLU.
Thank you so much.
As Jordan Gary, your senior midfielder for your Collinsville Lady Kahawks. We'll take a break here on the Chiropractic Works pregame show. When we come back, we'll set the starting 11 for both sides, and then we'll get this game started. Collinsville and Columbia coming up next on the Kahawk Sports Network.
My name is Rayshawn Taylor, collegiate basketball player at SIUE. At the end of January, I had an ACL injury. I've been searching for ways to come back as best as I can after the construction. Dr. Chris introduced me to the Shockwave machine. I'm gonna be honest, at first I was kind of scared because I didn't want it to shock me and hurt me too bad. And I had heard something about it, and I did my research on it, and it turns out it didn't actually hurt. It just was a good pain. It just finding where it hurts to promote the healing, and that's exactly what it did. I've actually had this surgery before. This time I feel like I'm back on my feet quicker, much faster. I'm much stronger than I was up to this point last time. And honestly, I feel like I could play right now. I'm excited to get back on the court. Thankful that Dr. Chris introduced me to this.
Diamonds for Kahawks is a facility improvement project to develop a baseball, softball, and football/soccer field for CHS students and our communities to utilize. The project includes 2 baseball fields, 2 softball fields, a soccer/football field, concession stand, bathrooms, and parking. The development of this facility will benefit the band, PE classes, baseball team, softball team, and soccer team with a centralized location, ease of access, and an eye-catching complex. Please contact A.D. Clay Smith to donate to this project or visit the Collinsville Area Community Foundation website to make your tax-deductible donation today.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Visit Brad Keene at his Collinsville office at 106 North Clinton or call 618-467-8420. Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Lottie's Cafe offers food, cocktails, and gaming in a great atmosphere highlighted by fast and friendly service. Lottie's Cafe also offers a unique menu that features soups and salads, sandwiches and paninis, pizza and flatbreads, appetizers and desserts, as well as breakfast. That's right, we said breakfast. Unique breakfast items such as a breakfast stromboli, a breakfast BLT, and breakfast burritos. Lottie's also offers creative cocktails, a wine bar, the coldest beer around, and a video gaming area for those 21 and older. And don't forget the Lottie's Cafe gift certificates. Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Check them out online at lottiescafe.com, on Facebook, or in person in the Strip next to the Walmart Neighborhood Market. Or call Lottie's Cafe at 618-223-8256. Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Looking to buy a new home or sell your current home? Trust the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty with all of your real estate needs. The real estate market is hot right now, and you can trust the years of experience the Blaylock Group brings to the table. The Blaylock Group can help you find your dream home, or they can help you get top dollar for your current home. Give Peyton or Emily Blaylock a call today at the Blaylock Group of eXp Realty, 618-780-4622. That's 618-780-4622. The Blaylock Group of eXp Realty. The people of Illinois welcome you. The folks in Collinsville, Illinois, well, they want you to stick around for a while and enjoy the sights, the fun, the food, and of course, the Collinsville Kahawks. The city of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District. So welcome to Collinsville. Come on over, catch a Kahawks game, or enjoy some of the new places to eat, shop, and have fun. There's plenty to do for the young and the young at heart. Enjoy Christmas at the Collins House during the holidays, tunes at Bloom in the warm summer months, and more. There's plenty to do in Collinsville, so come on over for a bit. The folks in Collinsville would love to see you. For more information, go to www.collinsville.org. Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than Elsie's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, Elsie's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahawk fans, before, after, or even during Kahawk games. Elsie's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. Elsie's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And Elsie's Pub shows Kahawk games live as well as Blues and Cardinals games. Elsie's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carryout orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at Elsie's Pub. Elsie's Pub, Kahawk fans' pub of choice. Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside's all-star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Lakeside Roofing, celebrating 50 years of serving the metro area. Choose experience, choose Lakeside. Chapman Trucking, LLC. Chapman Trucking is a local Collinsville business owned and operated by 1994 Collinsville graduate Christy Chapman. With over 10 years of experience, Chapman Trucking, LLC can take care of all of the heavy lifting when it comes to hauling aggregate materials such as sand, driveway rock, dirt, boulders, and more. That includes getting your heavy work equipment to your work site where it needs to be. Give Christy a call for a free estimate at Chapman Trucking LLC, 618-960-9346 or online at chapmantruckingllc.net.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and they care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
In Collinsville, call Scott Allen at 618-346-1500. Todd Duke here, proud member of the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Whether you call us teachers' aides, paraprofessionals, or educational assistants, it all comes down to one thing: taking care of students. More importantly, your student. Yes, we are there for the teachers, and we help them in any way possible. But our goals are in line with our teachers in that we want to see our students succeed at not only being a student, but well beyond that as we ready them for the world outside of the classroom. We are Union Strong. We are Kahawk Strong. We strive to help students reach their potential. We are the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Go Kahawks! Once again, welcome back to Kahok Stadium here on the campus of Collinsville High School. Todd Duke is my name. Brett Borum on the other microphone. Let's get going here between Collinsville and Columbia. And here are your starters for Columbia. In goal, senior goalkeeper Brooklyn Alstrike. After that, in front of her, you will find sophomore Reese Wolfel, senior Alexa Malding, junior Maddie Mock. Pay attention to her. She's got lots of goals and is a goal scorer for sure. Lindsay Glover is also a senior. Ava Schmidt and Riley Matthews are sophomores. Sydney Meaner is a junior. Avery Elner a freshman. Taylor Martin a senior. And Sam Schmucki a sophomore. For Collinsville, in goal once again is the freshman Carly Van Dyke. In front of Carly, you will find number 11, Addie Johnson. Number 3, Ellis Smith. Number 4, Megan Jeremias. Number 6, Sophia Kiefner. 13 is Ashley Giannini. She's a freshman. Shelby Hawk and Lainey Belandis a senior. Shelby is 14. Lainey Belandis is 16. Georgia Cox, a senior, is number 17. Jordan Gary, our pregame interview guest, a senior at number 23, and number 25, Kira Van Dyke. We are underway. Good afternoon to Brett Borum on the other microphone. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Todd. It's a beautiful
afternoon,
Saturday
I guess.
Afternoon. Beautiful Saturday afternoon at Kahok Stadium.
Sure is. All right, JV game. They lost 1-0. Columbia scored a goal in the 58th minute of the second half, and that was the only goal scoring in that junior varsity game. And the Lady Kahok JV squad is now 0-4-2 on the year. Collinsville's varsity squad, they're going to be up against it today. They got some goal scorers over there. As I mentioned in the pregame show, they have outscored their opponents 20-8, and Maddie Mock has 10 goals already this year after getting 29 goals last year in 25 games. So she's a force to be reckoned with. Collinsville gets a corner kick right off the bat and didn't turn anything into that one. That one kind of stayed low. The wind, by the way, is very gusty, but it's from behind the press box going across the field to the benches. So there's not going to be any wind at anyone's backs in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, the conditions today should be ideal, especially what we're used to playing in the last 2 weeks of the season. It's been pretty brutal. This should be a good soccer weather game.
Well, it's better than what we've had previously, that's for sure.
Right. Yep. Should not play a factor in the results today.
No, it shouldn't. As Collinsville goes back to work, Columbia goes back to work. I'm really surprised at the jerseys. Normally I thought they wear white jerseys on the road.
I thought the same thing in the JV match where they were wearing blue.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a different conference and then they wear whites at home in that conference. Not sure, but it's not ideal.
Here is Sophia Kiefner as Collinsville is looking to get a little offense going early on in this game. That banks off of a body and out of bounds, so Collinsville will have a throw-in, and the throw-in coming courtesy of Ashley Giannini. She gets it in to Kiefner, and then it gets popped up into the air. Now it comes back over to Giannini, but she got bumped off the ball right at the last second and couldn't continue. But taking over, here is Giannini once again. She's got a little spot over there by the corner kick area and tried to send that crossing pass through, but it never did make it all the way through. But Collinsville will have another throw-in.
Ideally, I'd like to see Giannini get some loft on that cross and maybe get a good service of that backside.
Here is Jordan Gary, our pregame guest. We had Kira Van Dyke on. Oh, there was a nice head try over there by Megan Jeremias, but she just missed it.
It was a well-played ball, well-struck ball by Jordan Gary. Beautiful ball. Megan just could not get her head on that ball.
So I interviewed Kira Van Dyke during the Edwardsville game, and then the next game she scores. And now I interviewed Jordan Gary here today. Let's hope she doesn't wait until the next game to score herself. That one goes a little bit wide off of the foot of Sophia Kiefner, and Collinsville has had all of the offensive momentum here early on. Let's hope they can keep that up.
Well, at least we're sustaining some pressure in this offensive zone, which is something we've been lacking in the first 5 or 6 matches this year.
That one went well wide, so no shot on goal counted as Columbia kicks it out of there again on a goal kick restart, but one of the defenders is handling those responsibilities. Van Dyke off of her head, off of Gary's head, and then Columbia gets a hold of it and sends it into their offensive half of the field until it's sent out of bounds by Eleni Bolanda. So a throw-in coming up for Columbia right in between the two benches as we are just underway here in this first half. 36:30 left to go here in half number one as Columbia enters their offensive zone for the first time here in this contest.
Wish I could have heard that interview of Jordan Gary. I'm sure that was would have been a pretty good one.
At least I didn't call her Julie.
That's true.
Yeah. Got that much going for me right now. By the way, her salty snack was not pickles.
No?
She
Okay.
did like Taylor Swift, though.
All right.
Yeah, salty snack was a very specific kettle-cooked barbecued potato chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's different.
Yeah. All right, here comes Collinsville, and here is the aforementioned Jordan Gary. She has it at midfield and sends it all the way up to the offense. That's a nice job. And chasing it down is Jeremias all the way over on the deep right wing. She turns the corner, sends one into the middle. Collinsville trying to get a foot on it, as Georgia Cox did, but it was immediately blocked out by the defense, and another good opportunity there for Collinsville.
Almost looked like Georgia Cox and Kiefner were fighting over the same ball. Georgia had the better angle to get the shot.
Yeah, might have banked off of her own teammate on that one.
I think so.
Here is on the way over on the far side. Now Jordan Gary with it. Gary comes up in that same spot and sends one over across, and trying to get the head was Sophia Kiefner, but again, just missed. That's 2 head tries now by Collinsville, and both of them were just off the mark.
Yeah, that was a beautiful service by Jordan Gary from that right corner flag. Beautiful ball to Sophie Kiefner. Just couldn't get her head on it. But I do like the pressure. I do like the intensity so far in the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Caroline
Tebow, the senior midfielder, checks into the game as Columbia makes an early substitution. And here come the Lady Eagles, but they give the ball up, and Giannini kind of mishit it, but it worked out in her favor as it ended up going right to Kiefner, but Kiefner couldn't keep the momentum going. Now the ball sent down into the offensive zone for Columbia. Nice pickoff move there by Bolandis as he was the only one back and got that ball just in time. Gets it all the way up to Gary at midfield. Now a little push pass over to Georgia Cox right in the center field logo. And then Columbia takes over. Thought that was going to hit the referee for a moment. That went off of the top of the head of Lindsey Glover for Columbia, and I don't think she was expecting that.
No, I don't think she was.
Yeah. All the way over in front of the Columbia bench. It skirts the line, and Columbia, they'll move it up over there on that left wing. Coming into the front of the 18-yard box. A pass over to Mock, and Mock's shot goes a little bit high and wide. And Collinsville survives to get back on the offensive side of things. Just under 34 minutes to go here in this first half. No score yet between Collinsville and Columbia as Carly Van Dyke, the freshman goalkeeper, will set the ball down and get ready for a goal kick restart herself. It's on the way. Stays low. A little line drive shot. Comes out and then squirts out over in front of the Columbia bench where Collinsville takes over. Jeremias had the ball knocked off of her. It's going to stay with Collinsville. And a throw in right over there in front of the Eagles bench and then off of the head of Gary and out of bounds. These teams have only been playing one another since 2018. That's the only history we could find so far, and Columbia is 3-1 versus Collinsville in that time.
Traditionally, Columbia is a pretty strong team down there in the southern region of what county is that down there?
St. Clair, isn't it? Yeah.
Monroe.
Maybe?
Monroe.
There you go.
Yeah. Good squad. Good. Always seems to field a good team.
Won the 1A state championship in 2019. Only 2 losses that year.
Yeah. Jamie Bridges coaches a good squad over there. I'm not sure how long he's been coaching, but
this is his 8th year.
I played against him when he was a Granite City Warrior.
That was back when you guys took dinosaurs to school, right?
Something like that.
Ball popped up into the air, heads over toward the near sideline, but never made it that far as Collinsville pushes it back down on the offensive zone. Then it takes a very high bounce until it ends up finding the hands of Brooklyn A-Strike. And we're back to action. Pushed up out of bounds. That'll be Collinsville ball. And another throw-in coming up here from the freshman Ashley Giannini. Giannini throws it in, gets it on the foot of Georgia Cox, and is pushed right out of bounds again, so we'll do it all over again. Giannini. This time she throws it over the head of Cox and Kiefner. It goes all the way toward the end line, and Columbia will just let it go, and they'll take a goal kick restart. Eagles won last year on their home turf 2-0. Kahawks won in 2021 a 2-1 contest, and Columbia took the games in 2018 by a score of 3-2, and in 2019, the year they won the state championship, but they only beat Collinsville 1-0.
So close matches, right?
Yeah. Nothing extremely on the blowout side of things, that's for sure.
Right. I'd like to see the Kahawks start sustaining a little bit more possession here like they did come out with the first 5 minutes of the match, getting some chances up top. Let's get that mojo back.
Goal kick restart handled here by Schmucki. And she'll send it all the way back out toward midfield. Again, that wind blowing crossway, so no one's going to get any help with the winds at their back, that's for sure. Here is Gary. Gary gets a little separation, gives to Kiefner. Kiefner is trying to send the ball into the middle of the pack, but never did make it to its final destination, and then Columbia gets a hold of it, and they'll send it down into the offensive zone as we approach the first 10 minutes expired here in this first half. Getting close to it anyway. There's a giveaway, and up front it goes. Collinsville got there first as they had numbers back, and then finally Belandis will send it all the way back out to midfield off of the head of Jeremias, and it gets that roll going toward the offensive side. Now Jordan Gary gets it. She can bust out some speed over there. Comes around into the 18-yard box, puts on a shot right off of the hands of Astrick, and Collinsville registers the first shot on goal here in this game.
Jordan Gary did have Megan Jeremiah streaking down that right wing. She could have slotted a pass there and maybe hammered one home.
Wasn't a lot of separation between Gary and her defender, though,
Right.
so maybe the defender cut off that angle.
That
but
could be. That could be.
Nevertheless, Gary did put a pretty good shot on goal. Too bad we couldn't get that wind to help out.
Right.
Into the Kahok bench it goes, and it'll belong to Collinsville. First 10 minutes gone. Another 30 minutes to go here in this first half. Glad you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. Turning out to be a beautiful day after a couple of days of just soggy, sloshy mess.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite time of year.
I know, man. It never knows what it wants to do. You want to be spring, you want to be summer, you want to be winter, and unfortunately we've had a big dose of winter over the last couple of days. No snow, but it's been cold,
Right.
wet, rainy, gloomy, cloudy.
I will take the boys' fall season any day over girls' spring
Oh, yeah.
season.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you start the fall season, it's still summertime, and it's still
Yeah.
nice and warm outside.
Almost too hot.
Yeah, sometimes. Supposed to warm up today to the mid-50s, maybe into the 60s tomorrow, but we do have some more rain in the forecast for tomorrow.
Shock.
Yeah, what a shocker. It's supposed to be March winds bring April showers, but so far it's been windy and rainy in March. Collinsville will send it back to Carly Van Dyke, and she'll send the ball up to her older sister, Kira. And a little miscommunication there, and the ball goes back into the box area, but no problem there as Van Dyke will scoot over to her left and pick that ball up. 28:40 left to go here in this first half. Scoreless thus far. Collinsville with the only shot on goal at this point in the contest. There's a high fly ball out to midfield. That was nicely done, and it squeaks past everybody and heads deep down into the Collinsville offensive zone where Columbia will just play it back to their goalkeeper, and then it gets played into the Kahok bench, and it'll belong to Collinsville. They'll have a throw-in from there. Comes in for Gary. Gary had that ball skip off of the front of her body and then right to one of the Columbia players, and then out of bounds, and that Columbia player tying her shoe, so plays goes on without her. And then Columbia circles, and that's off the backside of Jordan Gary and out of bounds. So Columbia will have the throw-in.
So far, Collinsville's doing a really good job of shutting down this midfield of the Columbia Eagles. I'm assuming that's where they're going to build most of their pressure out of here to get this ball up top to Maddie Monk.
Maddie Mock. Right now, Collinsville with it, and that ball off of the shins of Riley Matthews, so a throw in by the opposing 13, Giannini. She gets it into Georgia Cox, and Georgia circles, sends the ball over to Gary. Jordan gets away with it, takes a shot, and that one is off of the goalie's fingertips and just outside of that far side post. And Collinsville has had the better chances, and that was, as I mentioned, off the fingertips of Ostrike. So Collinsville will get their second corner kick of this game. They had one very early on in the first minute. That ball stayed really low, didn't get off the ground by maybe 5 inches. This time they're going to pass it all the way over to the sideline, and then they'll send one in toward the goal, and off the front. Here's a shot, and a little bit too high off of the football crossbar, and Sophia Kiefner couldn't get the ball to settle down. It was taking too high of a bounce when she hit it. She hit it from underneath, and it went way high.
Yeah, she's got to stay over the top of that ball. She's standing right on the doorstep. We got to bury that one.
Yeah, if that ball would have stayed low instead of having that big bounce, you probably would have had a lot better chance.
Yep.
Defense sends it back out toward midfield. Collinsville, they get there first, but Carly Call, who's into the game now, just mishit that one. And then it goes up the line, and right in front of the Columbia bench, knocked out of bounds again. Columbia Eagles with a throw in. 26 minutes, 10 seconds left to play here in this first half. No score as of yet. Collinsville has had the better chances. And over onto the corner. There's a shot that goes well wide off of the foot of Mock. And a goal kick restart coming up here for Collinsville. Morgan Lang checks into the game now for the Kahawks.
Coach Munoz still electing to go with the 2 freshman wingbacks. That seems to be a position she hasn't settled on as far as who her primary players are going to be. It's been a rotating door throughout this first 5-6 games.
Pass over to this side, but a little bit too far for Sophia Kiefner to track down off of the foot of Georgia Cox. So a throw in coming just underneath the press box here at Collinsville and Kahok Stadium. Comes in right below our location. And that ball is off of the shins of the Columbia player. Did they already call it out? Yeah, that's right. Yep. Schmookie didn't believe it, didn't want to believe it. But that was a nice job by Collinsville not to give up on that ball just because it was skirting that yellow line. Now the Kahawks will go back and try to track it down again, and trying to keep that ball in is Jeremiah. She does so. In the middle, shot, and oh boy, what a save there. That one might have been pushed into the goalkeeper by the wind, and that becomes another save by Ostreich.
It's a great effort by Megan Jeremiah, keeping that ball in bounds, getting that cross off.
Yeah, I don't think the young lady for Columbia had any idea that she was coming up her backside.
Nope.
Collinsville stays with it at midfield, and into the logo area it goes until Collinsville sends it up into the offensive zone. That's a slow roller, but it is going to cross the line. And Columbia will have another throw in, and once again it is Sam Schmucke. Love that last name.
How do you spell that, Todd?
That would be S-C-H-M-U-K-E.
Schmookie.
Schmookie.
Like
sounds like something your grandma would say. Come on over here and grab grandma a little schmookie.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
Okay, what were you thinking? You were thinking like Jersey Jersey Shore?
I don't know, like that too. There you go. No, like a little pet name, like you might have for your wife.
Right. No, we just call each other babe.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember when my best friend got married. He was working at Olive Garden up in Fairview Heights, and he met a waitress and fell in love with her, and her pet name for him was Honey Bunny, and I couldn't stand it.
Probably get on my nerves too.
Oh, she had that. She's from Kentucky. She had that southern accent to go along with it, so it was like, come here, Honey Bunny. Jeremiah's trying to track it down again. She will not. That ball will squeak over the line, and it'll be another goal kick restart here.
She had a better opportunity to probably pull that ball back, keep it in bounds, and play her trail to Morgan Lang. She was not going to get to it before that went out of bounds for a cross.
So once again, a goal kick restart handled here by the defense for Columbia. And they'll send it all the way up in front of the Kahawk bench, and it makes its way into Collinsville's bench. Another throw in coming up here for the Lady Eagles. At midfield, all the way over on the far sideline, taken care of there by Carly Call. She sends it up to Jordan Gary. Back to Call it goes, and then they'll try to squeeze it on up the line, but unsuccessful now. Kira Van Dyke, she'll send it all the way up the line, and that ball is going to roll all the way to the far outside edge of the 18-yard box, scooped up there by Ostreich, and she'll send us back to action here. That one just died.
Yeah, that's just total misjudgment by the two Kahawk midfielders.
Yeah. Now we have a whistle and a foul called against Collinsville, so a free kick coming up here for the Eagles from midfield. And it'll be right at midfield, just outside of the circle, and it'll be Sydney Meaner, the junior midfielder, to take care of this strike for Columbia. All the way into the 18-yard box. This is dangerous. Comes down, but what a nice job there by Lainey Belanda. She was in the right spot at the right time and didn't give up on that ball.
You're right. And Morgan Lang did a great job slowing her player down the streak and down that left flank. That allowed Belandis to step in and win that ball.
21:30 left to play here in this first half, and that one is sent across the end line by Columbia. So Collinsville's ball, and we'll see another goal kick restart coming up here from Carly Van Dyke.
Council substitution number 8, Allison Hennessy.
Allison Hennessy checks back into the game. Or checks into the game for the first time.
Yep.
Normally one of the starters. Collinsville continues to mix up their starters here from game to game, trying to
find the right
right formula.
Yep, exactly.
There is Mock all the way on the outside, being pushed off of the ball by Shelby Hawk. I kind of figured that Shelby Hawk would get the assignment to cover Mock today.
Might be a good battle all day long.
Yeah. We'll get a closer up view of it in the second half when they move over to this side of the field. Collinsville pokes the ball over to the sideline. Columbia keeps it in. And then off of the head of Van Dyke, and she'll get it right back and send it right up the line, but out of bounds. Another throw-in coming up here for Columbia right in front of their bench. They get it in, and they'll start the attack once again. Into the middle it goes, and Collinsville, they'll get there first, but then it ricochets off of some shins up front and rolls right to Van Dyke. And another chance for Carly to send it back to midfield. High and deep to the midfield logo it goes. Settles down. Collinsville, they come up with it and trying to keep it. Here is Gary. Gets a little pressure from behind. Gets a little shove. Sends it over to the far side.
Offside.
And then Jeremias. She'll get it back, but it is offside. What was that?
Coach Munoz is not happy with Kiefner being offsides. Know where you are on the field.
Yeah, I heard that. From all the way over on the far side, I heard that.
Yep. Clear
Wow.
as day.
Yeah.
But she was probably 5-10 yards. Well, maybe not 10. Probably 5 yards offsides. It was plain as day.
So a free kick there for Columbia, but that's off the head of the Collinsville defender and out of bounds as play continues to take place over there on the far sideline. And a push down from behind by Morgan Lang, and that's going to result in another free kick.
And I find that one questionable. Quite honestly, I think Morgan was doing a really good job just placing her body on her, but wasn't pushing her backwards. The girl just went flat on the ground.
Yeah. All the way up in front of the box. Now it bounces into the 18-yard box, but right before it crosses that yellow line, Collinsville pokes it away. And back to midfield we go. Into the logo area, that is Taylor Martin. Martin, one of the captains for this Columbia team, as is Mock. And they get it back over to Van Dyke. Kira sends it all the way down the range, and it takes a little roll over to the sideline, and they'll just send it over to Ostrike, and she'll take care of it and send it back over into her defense. And Schmucki will get it over here on this near side sideline before it's punched out of bounds by Giannini. And another throw-in coming up here for Columbia. She was a little indecisive on when she was going to throw that ball in.
Yep, sure was.
Finally does so and sends it up the line to no one in particular. It ends up going out of bounds, and it'll belong to Collinsville. Another substitution coming up here for the Kahawks.
Coach Munoz substituting a little more regularly than Bridges on the opposite side. I'm not sure he's subbed too much thus far in the match, has he?
I think just one so far.
Yeah.
Addie Johnson comes back into the game. She started. Sophia Kiefner, who also started, she'll head to the bench for a little bit of a break. And here is Georgia Cox. Cox trying to control the dribble. She does so. Comes away with it. Now trying to get some separation. Sends it into the middle, but that is picked off there by Reese Wolfel. And then sends it right through the legs of the Kahawk midfielder Allison Hennessy. And then back out of bounds again. So Collinsville will have another throw in. And Ashley Giannini, the freshman, will take care of it again. All the way past the midfielders into the defenders it goes, and Collinsville trying to get it away. And I think there was like very little contact there.
Terrible.
That was a horrible call.
Yep.
Ended up being a free kick, but from so far away, not a lot to do with it. And that ball ends up going out of bounds, and it'll belong to Collinsville. Throw in coming from in front of the Eagles bench to Jordan Gary. Back to Carly Call, and then over onto the far sideline, trying to keep it in bounds. They can't. Columbia can't, and Collinsville will have another throw in. This will be in between the benches as we have 16 and a half minutes left to play here in this so far scoreless first half. Collinsville has had the better of the opportunities. Right now, I got them out shooting Columbia 3-0. That ball ends up going off of the leg of Hennessy and out of bounds.
And substitution number 22.
Schmookie will go out and have a seat, and Emily Rose will come in to take over.
I cannot laugh.
Caroline Tebow will throw this one in. She does so, comes down and sent up by Giannini. Now all we have to do is go chase it down, and with a burst of speed, a goalkeeper is going to come out and send that one out of bounds herself. It was rolling that way anyway.
It was going to go.
Yeah. So a throw in coming up here for Giannini just outside of this left wing area outside the box, into the box off of Jordan Gary. Gary sends it over to the sideline. Nice job there by Georgia Cox. That ball is poked out of bounds, and it will stay. Oh. Nope, it's going to go to Columbia. Wow. I didn't see that.
No.
That ball is going to be thrown out of bounds. It didn't even land in bounds. So another throw in coming up here for Giannini. And now we have a whistle as each team wants to make substitutions, as Megan Jeremias will check back into the game. She'll take the place of Morgan Lang. And I believe that is Alexa Malding checking back in for Columbia.
Number 3, Alexa Malding.
You got it.
Throw-in coming up here for Giannini. Giannini to Gary. She was like being held from behind. Gets it up front. Here is Georgia Cox trying to feed it into the box area, but no one was there for Collinsville. Comes back out to the defensive side of things. Carly Call couldn't track it down. And then it'll come all the way back into the Collinsville's defensive zone. Poked back into the offensive side. Here is Cox once again. Send it over here to the sideline for Giannini. Giannini gets past her defender. Sends it up to Jordan Gary. Gary trying to do the same thing, trying to spring Hennessy, but that ends up being off of the body of one of the defenders for Columbia. And here comes another Giannini throw-in. To Gary, trying to chip it over. Does so to Hennessy, and then banked again off of the shins of one of the defenders for the Eagles. Giannini with another throw in, and again to Jordan Gary. She tries to turn the corner, and then that ball is poked away by Taylor Martin and out of bounds. So just a series of throw-ins coming up here for Giannini.
Jordan does a great job of trying to box out that Columbia Eagles defender. I don't know if you're watching that, but she does a great job of just backing her butt inside the defenders.
Kind of has her arms back as a wing. Ball comes in and immediately goes right back to where it came from, and Collinsville trying to generate a little offense here. Here comes the only person to score a goal so far this year. Here is Van Dyke. Her shot goes up the middle and trying to find Jeremias there, but Jeremias got stepped in front of by one of the defenders, and that ends up going right to the Eagles goalkeeper. 13 minutes, 20 seconds left to play here in this first half. No score as of yet between Collinsville and Columbia. Van Dyke sends it up, and we have a whistle. Another foul coming up here against Collinsville, so another free kick from midfield. Neither did I.
I was wondering if the ball maybe popped up and hit Kira in the hand, but I couldn't tell.
So a free kick from midfield once again for Columbia. And it's on the way. Has a little bit of distance on it, but Shelby Hawk got that out of there quickly, and then it goes into the Columbia bench off of the leg of one of the Kahawks players all the way over on the far side. Now the ball thrown in again, and I looked out from here, but I'm far away. And Columbia with an opportunity. Here is Mock in the middle, and a save by Van Dyke. That is the first shot on goal for Columbia in this match.
I'm not sure if Carly Call gave up on that ball, thought it was out of bounds, and it wasn't, but clearly that led to a goal-scoring opportunity for the Columbia Eagles. Yeah. Got to make sure that ball is all the way out of bounds.
Yeah, looked like it was from this direction, but again, that's all the way over on the far side. And my eyesight's not that good, even with glasses. Into the Columbia bench it goes, and another throw-in coming up here from Reese Wolfel. Wolfel sends it up the line, trying to find Riley Matthews. Matthews got bumped off that ball by Shelby Hawk.
That was like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the way over to the flagpole the ball goes. Collinsville will have a throw-in from there. They'll throw it up the line, and it comes right back to Call. Call will send it farther up the line. And it finds the foot of Jordan Gary for just a moment, but that moment quickly disappears, and another whistle on the play. This time Collinsville is going to get a free kick, but it's going to happen right at that penalty arc.
And there you go. I'm not even sure that was a foul.
I don't know either. I keep on seeing or hearing whistles, but I'm not seeing what they're blown for. Nothing egregious, that's
No,
for sure.
Not at all.
Belandis sends a low one down all the way to Van Dyke. Van Dyke trying to get a little separation. Can't do it, but it still finds Collinsville's players. Here is Jordan Gary. Gary
She's off.
sends it all the way up, but that ball's going to go out of bounds anyway.
At least I thought Megan was going to be off. If she probably would have been able to run that ball down, I think he would have put the flag up.
It would have been close.
Yeah.
Throw in coming up here for Columbia. Jordan Gary almost stole that ball away.
She's all over the place again today.
Yeah.
What a dynamic player she is.
Wouldn't expect anything less from the SLU recruit.
SLU recruit. What a program they've got, too.
Yeah.
She's going to a good program.
Here is Jordan Gary. She'll try to cross one, but that one got popped up into the air and never did make it to its destination. So a goal kick restart coming up here for Columbia, which will be handled by the defense. And I believe Emily Rose is all the way back taking care of this.
Substitution number 8, Jade Becker.
Jade Becker, sophomore forward for Columbia, into the game. Gary sends it up. Collinsville's player got taken off the ball, but Jordan finds it again and trying to feed the ball up, but it's going to be another throw-in coming up here for Collinsville. Carly Call will handle those responsibilities. All the way over on the far side at the end of the Kahok bench. And into the 18-yard box it goes, but no one there wearing the purple uniforms. So an easy pickup there by Ostrike as we are under 10 minutes to go here in this first half. Back out to midfield.
It's too easy. Someone's got to be shirt tight on that Columbia Eagles midfielder.
Yeah, Elner was wide open. Wasn't anybody around her for a good long while. That ball goes over the head of Giannini, and then it'll go all the way to Van Dyke in goal. And she'll send a low screamer all the way back out toward midfield. Jordan Gary takes over from there. Sends it on over to the defense, and the defense will poke it up for the offense. But, oh boy,
ladies.
I tell you what, if somebody would have been standing there in the middle of that circle, we could have had a chance.
Kind of like stepping in like this.
Yeah, here is Van Dyke.
She doesn't know where it
Yeah,
is.
she lost the ball. Comes back over to Gary. Jordan sends it over. Now back out toward midfield for Van Dyke. Van Dyke trying to find Giannini over here on this sideline. Then Van Dyke gets knocked backwards, and the ball finds one of the Columbia players. Columbia, they bring it up once again. Here is Becker. She'll shoot the ball up, and then it'll be taken over there by Lainey Belandis for Collinsville, and that ball will spin all the way out of bounds.
Lainey had time there. All she had to do was take a touch, pick her head up, and she had at least 2 or 3 seconds to find out where she wanted to go with the ball.
Ball comes up the line to Becker. Sent back over to Glover. And then off of the head of Hawk and all the way over for Collinsville. Is that number 11? Is that what that? Oh, yeah, that's Addie Johnson. I keep on looking in numerical order.
Yep.
I forget I got to scratch that 0 out and put 11 in, and 11's all the way at the top of the page.
I guess this will be your last year of the Van Dyke sisters and the Johnson sisters. Huh?
Yeah. That ball squirts over just outside the 18-yard box. Becker trying to get there, and that ball is going to be a goal kick restart. Nice job there by Hennessy to lay off.
And a nice job by Belandis selling it and telling the referee whose ball it is.
Yep. 7:25 to go here in this first half. No score as of yet between Collinsville and Columbia. Columbia won the JV game 1-0 with a goal in the 58th minute.
These JV games have been close. Every one.
Yeah, they have.
Just can't score, kind of like the varsity.
Yeah.
Just can't score.
Tough to win when you don't score.
Yes, sir.
Columbia with the ball at midfield. They'll send it into the offensive zone over everyone's head. Trying to chase it down is Carly Call, but Reese Wolfel will get there first for Columbia and then send it off of Call. So a throw-in coming up here, and that'll be handled by Emily Rose. Rose throws it into the 18-yard box. Belandis, she tries to get there first and cut off the angle from Mock.
And who's going to win this battle? The corner.
Yep, first corner kick of the game for Columbia. And Mock will take the corner kick. She's ready to go. And the ball up in the air, and that wind is going to take it all the way to the sideline, but not out of bounds. Collinsville having a hard time getting it out of there, and it's still down on the ground, and finally it's kicked back toward midfield, and that relieves a little bit of that pressure, but Columbia finds the ball right back. Now sent back up to midfield off of the foot of Jordan Gary, and then Sydney Meaner tries to send it back up for a little offensive possession time, but that ball ends up going out of bounds. And another Rose throw-in coming up. Threw it right off the top of the head of Sophia Kiefner. That one's popped up. Megan Jeremias over there trying to track it down. She can't. She got pushed off the ball. And then it finds Jordan Gary. Sometimes those star players for your team, the ball just finds them.
Yep. But with Jordan, she works so hard, she works hard to get into the positions where that ball is going to find her, too.
Gary with the throw-in. Collinsville back in the offensive zone. Jordan trying to look for someone to throw it to. It's a good thing they don't have like that 5-second rule they do in basketball.
Yeah.
Comes down for Jeremias, but she couldn't get a foot on it, and it ends up going back to Columbia. Now, Mock with it. She'll send it back once again for Woelfel. Woelfel got taken off the ball. Van Dyke does a nice job, gets it up to Gary, and then Columbia sends it back out to midfield. Carly Call, she'll send it over to the far sideline. Poked away once again by the Columbia Lady Eagles, and Georgia Cox couldn't quite get there. Now it comes all the way out, and here is once again a nice job by Giannini, but that ball had a little bit too much miles per hour on it. She never could catch up. Back to the defense it goes. Here is Belandis. Belandis sends it all the way down into the offensive zone. Jeremias couldn't get a foot on it. Columbia does. And they'll settle it down at midfield, or try to, before Van Dyke got a hold of that ball. Now Collinsville sends it into the middle. Here's Georgia Cox.
Keep going.
Cox has she's got Lang over here on this left wing, and then the ball hits her a little bit too hard and pops up. That ball is out of bounds. It'll stay with Collinsville. And another Giannini throw-in. Coming up on 4 minutes to go here in this first half. And I don't know if that one was even... I don't even know what happened there.
I don't either.
Looked like Lang wasn't ready for it, and Giannini threw it to her, and then I think she tried to take it back at the last second. That ball went about 5 feet.
That last sequence, Georgia Cox had about 10 yards of real estate in front of her to go north and south. She was wanting to force it to go to this left flank to Morgan Lang. I'd like to see her take that space to goal.
Throw in coming up here from Glover. Collinsville interrupts it, but the Eagles find a way to get it back off of the head of Van Dyke. Down it goes and to midfield. Shelby Hawk will find it first. She'll send it all the way over to the far sideline where that ball will go out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in coming up here for Columbia. Right at the end of the Kahok bench. Comes up and gets by its intended target and finds Jordan Gary and poked up front. Kahawks trying to track the ball down, but getting there first is Ava Schmidt. But Collinsville stays with it, and here is Sophia Kiefner. She's double-teamed over there. And then Columbia kicks it out of bounds. Thank you very much. Another throw-in coming up here for Call. She finds Jordan Gary right at the corner of the 18-yard box, poked out of bounds again by Columbia. Call will do it all over again. Gary trying to find some room to turn the corner. She does so just in front of the box. Here is Georgia Cox. Cox got bumped from behind, trying to settle that ball down. It took too long.
She probably needed to just take one touch and try and get a shot.
Here is Shelby Hawk once again. Bounces over the head of the midfielder here for Columbia. Back to the Columbia defense. Out to midfield it goes. Here is Shelby Hawk once again. Hawk gets it up into the top of the midfield circle there for Van Dyke, who will find a nice passing lane to Lang. Lang puts on a nice little spin move, but the ball went too far. She stays with it, though, and comes out here on this left wing. Boy, her and Sydney Meaner are in a little bit of a tussle there, and I think a little bit too pushy was Lang, and Lang gets called for it.
I agree with that call.
2 minutes to go here in this first half. No score between Collinsville and Columbia. Woods Basement Systems halftime show coming up for you next. We'll scour the area for some scores. I know that most baseball and softball games got canceled for today because of all the rain we've had the last couple of days. That ball goes out to midfield. I know the Cardinals are playing this afternoon. Their last game in Florida this year. As Collinsville sends it back up to midfield, but Columbia will send it right back. 90 seconds to go here in this first half. Here is Van Dyke, and she'll send it up Jeremias trying to follow the ball and track it down from Ava Schmidt. Collinsville pokes it up the sideline. Now they a foot race for the ball, but Jeremias couldn't get there before the defender, who was already back, did. Nice job there by Van Dyke to break up that pass. Palandis couldn't get enough on that ball to send it to a Kahok, so it'll roll itself back all the way to the defense, and Columbia will start their push forward once again. Here is Matthews. Matthews sends the ball up, trying to find Becker. Becker inside the 18-yard box, puts one right in the middle, and a shot, and that one just goes wide.
It's Columbia's best opportunity so far.
Yeah. But doesn't even register as a shot on goal because it goes wide. But, you know, you got to give Riley Matthews a lot of credit. She was in the right spot at the right time and just didn't strike it in the perfect spot. 30 seconds left. Van Dyke sends it back out toward midfield. Picked up there, and Columbia with it once again. They'll send it back toward midfield and start that push forward once again in the closing seconds of this first half. Collinsville, they'll track it down first. It'll be a throw-in coming up here on the near sideline, just outside the box. But under 10 seconds left. Not a lot of time to do anything with it. They'll throw it in, will Columbia, and send it back out to midfield, and a pop shot right toward the buzzer, and that is the way that the first half comes to a close. 0-0 is no one's favor as we take a break and welcome you in to the halftime show, brought to you by Woods Basement Systems, all things basement-y. Woods Basement Systems has been doing their thing since 1986. Give them a call at their Collinsville headquarters, 618-708-4055. Woods Basement System halftime show. That comes your way next on the Kahok Sports Network. Diamonds for Kahawks is a facility improvement project to develop a baseball, softball, and football/soccer field for CHS students and our communities to utilize. The project includes 2 baseball fields, 2 softball fields, a soccer/football field, concession stand, bathrooms, and parking. The development of this facility will benefit the band, PE classes, baseball team, softball team, and soccer team with a centralized location, ease of access, and an eye-catching complex. Please contact A.D. Clay Smith to donate to this project or visit the Collinsville Area Community Foundation website to make your tax-deductible donation today. Are you looking to update the appeal of your home's interior? Look no further than Hayden Interiors, LLC. Hayden Interiors, LLC is owned and operated by former Kahok graduate Nick Hayden. Hayden Interiors, LLC will help you get that new look that you want for your home. Flooring, baseboards, doorways, as well as interior renovations or interior additions, kitchen, living room, bedroom, hallways, basements, stairways. Let Hayden Interior LLC help you find the look that you want. Call Nick Hayden today at Hayden Interiors LLC, 618-772-6790 for your free estimate. Hayden Interiors LLC, on budget, on time, every time. That's Hayden Interiors LLC. Call Nick at 618-772-6790. Keep your ride shiny and clean with Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville. Owner Jay Merkel and his crew at Extreme Details believe in the value of community and in helping their community hold the value of their vehicles with a sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details can handle any job, whether you drive a small car, an SUV, or even a bus or RV. No job is too big or too small at Extreme Details. Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal, no matter what you drive: cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, and more. Plus, Extreme Details can handle fleet vehicles for you and your company. Call Jay and the gang at Extreme Details at 618-977-1224. Check for periodic specials on the Extreme Details Facebook page. Put the shine in your ride with Extreme Details, 618-977-1224. First National Bank of Waterloo, with over 100 years serving the Metro East. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo at their Maryville or Collinsville locations for all of your banking, mortgage, and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, call the Collinsville team at First National Bank of Waterloo at 618-345-1121. Or visit their Maryville or Collinsville locations or online at fnbwaterloo.bank. First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Mike's Automotive in Collinsville is a T3 certified tire dealer and so much more. Sure, Mike's Automotive has tires. They can also help with making sure your entire vehicle is road ready, from belts and hoses to preventative maintenance like oil changes and tire rotation. Plus a lot more than that. Mike's Automotive has 3 locations to choose from. Mike's Automotive in St. Louis and Millstadt, and Mike's Automotive in Collinsville at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call Mike's Automotive at 618-345-0611. Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Welcome back into the Woods Basement Systems halftime show. Here it is scoreless between Collinsville and Columbia on the varsity side. On the JV side, the Kahawks lost 1-0 as Columbia scored a goal in the 58th minute to secure that victory, and the JV team now 0-4-2. Other scores we have for you, all from the world of soccer. Right now, Triad over Alton by a score of 3-2. Civic Memorial has a lead over Father McGivney by a score of 3-2. Metro East Lutheran has a 1-0 lead over Westland, and Greenville over North Madison by a score of 2-1. And the baseball game in Florida, the last one in the Grapefruit League season for the Cardinals, as St. Louis Cardinals just scored a run and now have a 3-2 lead in the 8th inning. That was a 2-2 tie until just a moment ago. That is a look at the Woods Basement Systems halftime show. We'll be back with the second half action between Collinsville and Columbia right after a timeout on the Kahok Sports Network. Got vinyl? Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville can take care of all of your vinyl needs and more. You can peruse through thousands of records, from country to hard-to-find jazz, and classic rock is always in stock at Rich's Record Emporium. Used vinyl, new vinyl, and hard-to-find vinyl. Don't forget to check out the audio room at Rich's, where you can check out the latest in audio gear, from new top-of-the-line speakers to turntables and receivers, plus all of the accessories. Rich's has t-shirts, record cleaners, turntable needles, wall art, and so much more. If you can't find what you're looking for at Rich's, they will do their best to find it for you. Don't forget to mention seeing this ad on the Kahok Sports Network for a 10% discount at checkout. Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville, or call 618-795-1333 or online at richesrecordemporium.com.
Herald Square and Cold Herald, 2 great additions to the Collinsville landscape. Next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, Herald Square is a new outdoor multi-use event space in Collinsville. Concerts, fun and games, farmer markets, and so much more. Herald Square, a great space for Collinsville's future. And just off the square's turf, Cold Herald, old-fashioned scooped ice cream gelato, house-made recipes, and premium sourced product. If you're over 21, ask about the good stuff at Cold Herald. Watch Collinsville grow. Herald Square and Cold Herald, 2 great new additions, only in Collinsville, Illinois. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jason Ragg, your Benjamin F. Edwards financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jason Ragg is a proud supporter of your Collinsville Kahawks and the Kahok Sports Network, as well as the Kahok Educator of the Month Award. For all of your investment needs, see financial advisor and investment vice president Jason Ragg at the Benjamin F. Edwards office in Edwardsville at 1012 Plummer Drive, or call Jason Ragg at 618-307-7048, or visit benjaminfedwards.com. Benjamin F. Edwards, members SIPC. Looking for good food, good times, and good people? Look no further than the Bridge Inn in Caseyville. Just over the bridge from the Kahok Stadium, Bridge Inn features a friendly and courteous staff that serves up the coldest drinks and the best food in the Metro East. Lunch and dinner is available daily, with a breakfast menu every Saturdays and Sunday morning. And don't forget about fantastic fish fry Fridays. Bridge Inn also features pool tournaments on most weekends and a gaming area for the over 21 crowd. Bridge Inn in Caseyville. Check them out at 519 North Main Street in Caseyville. Call for carryout orders at 618-344-3530. The best is yet to come at the Bridge Inn in Caseyville. 618-344-3530.
Schaefer Excavating and Demolition in Pontoon Beach provides complete commercial, industrial, and residential demolition and excavating services. Schaefer Excavating and Demolition is family owned and operated by former Kahok since 1980 and have over 4 decades serving the Metro East. Schaefer Excavating and Demolition is your choice for quality and experienced work at a reasonable price. Schaefer's does jobs of any size, whether digging for water and sewer lines, site preparation, or building demolition. Schaefer's can do it all. Schaefer's Excavating and Demolition also sells backfill, topsoil, loam, and other materials. Licensed, bonded, and insured, from earth moving and land clearing to building and demolition and road construction to septic and sewer system work. Call the experienced crew at Schaefer Excavating and Demolition, 618-931-6237.
Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Brady Pest and Termite Management is your local pest control source. The Midwest offers its fair share of pest problems, and Brady Pest and Termite Management is up to the challenge. Whether it's pesky rodents in the cold winter months or ants, spiders, and other pests in the warm months, Brady Pest and Termite is your solution. And termites? Brady Pest is tops in the Metro East in termite management. Do you have unwanted pests? Then call the best. Brady Pest and Termite Management in Caseyville. Call 343-1790 or on Facebook at Brady Pest and Termite. The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org. Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage. Visit Pack Mail at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipSt.Louis.com or call Pack Mail at 346-4884.
And once again, we welcome you back to Kahok Stadium. We are just underway here in half number 2. Collinsville and Columbia scoreless after one half of play. Collinsville out shooting Columbia in that first half, 3-1. Collinsville had 2 corner kicks and Columbia had 1. As we have our first whistle here in the second half. And it'll be a free kick coming up here for Collinsville, albeit from about 45 yards away, but that's been the closest free kick anyone's had pretty much all day here. And this one will be taken all the way over on the far side by Lainey Belandis. As she strikes it high, right toward the front of the box, but that is the Eagles that poke it out of the way, but Collinsville comes away with it. Here is Van Dyke. She'll circle with it and send it all the way over here to Addie Johnson. And then a group of Lady Eagles got in the way, so they take over, and here once again is Reese Woelfel. Woelfel sends the ball back up to midfield. Onto the foot now of Elner. Elner gets poked off of the ball, but Columbia stays with it anyway. And now a loose ball at midfield. Trying to get there was Giannini, and Giannini gets pegged for a foul. Not really sure if it was that flagrant of a foul.
It wasn't flagrant, but she did push off that Columbia midfielder. I'll give it to him.
So now Columbia gets a free kick. This one going to be from about 50 yards away. And it'll be taken at midfield here by Taylor Martin. Or excuse me, that is Sydney Meaner. And then poked out of there. Nicely done by Collinsville and Shelby Hawk. That ball just found her. And now Jordan Gary trying to... I was waiting for the whistle, man, and it never happened.
I was too.
It never happened. Collinsville will have a throw in right underneath our location. Here is Call, gets it to Gary. Gary will send it back to Carly, and Carly sends it out of bounds. Cardinals win 3-2 over Detroit. Not their last game in Florida, just their last game in Jupiter. I was corrected. There is Hawk. She'll get a hold of the ball first and send it up to Johnson, but Johnson had that ball skip right underneath her foot, and now she'll play a little chase there as her and Wolfel were in a little bit of a foot race, and that's knocked out of bounds, and Wolfel with the throw in. Throws it into the front of the box, comes down and finds Jordan Gary. Gary sends it all the way back upfield, but the only one there to take care of it was Lindsey Glover, and she plays for the other team.
It's not like Jordan to make errant passes like that into nobody.
Maybe she got confused by the
colors,
dark jerseys out there. Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan either. All the way over on the far side and poked all the way up. Now a foot race. Megan Jeremias gets a hold of it and then has to get around her defender. Comes in, takes a shot. That one goes just a little bit wide. And that is going to go across the line for a goal kick restart here for Collinsville. So no shot on goal. I was hoping for a minute there that Ostrike may have gotten a finger on it, but she didn't. Yeah, it wasn't far off.
It wasn't far off. The second one we've missed just wide by probably inches. Megan Jeremias does a great job of getting her defender off balance, cutting it back inside to her right foot to get that shot off. Just off frame.
I'd like to see Collinsville score a goal here. If they do, it'll be the first time that the Kahawks have led all year. Off of the head of Gary, and Jordan will get it right back, and then it's poked out, and Addie Johnson comes up with it. Johnson sends it back over to Gary. Gary coming up that midsection there over on the left side, gets bumped off the ball, stays with it, sends it back to Carly Call. Carly will send it over here to the sideline trying to find Johnson, but just let her a little bit too much with that pass. Ball quickly thrown back in. Here is Johnson. She'll kick it back out. Oh, they're going to say it's off Columbia. I'll take it.
Yep, me too.
Yep. Throw in coming up once again here for Carly Call. Carly throws it, and I don't know why she would throw it to Jeremiah. She was double teamed. That hits Jordan Gary in the shoulder, and Jeremias comes away with it. She'll send it over to the far side for Giannini. Giannini right through the legs of her defender and over to Jeremias, or excuse me, I don't even know who that is. It's too far away to see the number. Giannini, okay. And now here comes Columbia. They'll come up that far sideline. Belandis meets the runner with the ball, trying to provide a little defense, and stays with her the whole way. Bumps her off the ball. Ball comes loose, and into the box area it goes. Collinsville, they'll get there first, and Belandis keeps that ball alive until it rolls itself far enough over for Carly Van Dyke to pick it up.
Belandis does a great job of just boxing that Columbia Eagle forward out, allowing Van Dyke to come pick that ball up.
We're just underway here in the second half, 5 minutes in. That ball ends up going out of bounds. And a throw in between the benches here for Columbia. Up the line and toward midfield now. Loose ball. Who wants it? Gary. She has it. Circles the defender. Has another one closing in on her. Gets the ball up. And a pass back. No one home. So Columbia takes over. They'll send it up on the offensive side of things. And
he's saying she's on.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, she thought that one was going to be offside. Over on the far side, Matthews with it. Matthews trying to turn the corner for a cross. She does so, but that one ends up going off one of the Collinsville players. To the sideline it goes. Gary pops it up in the air, and now Columbia takes over once again. Sent back into the box area by Eleanor, and that ball will bounce over the line. And it'll be a goal kick restart here for young Miss Van Dyke.
These girls need to start talking to each other on the field. Lainey Belandis had plenty of time. She did not need to just blast that ball out. She had time. She could have connected a pass. Girls need to talk more.
Comes out to 3 Kahawks. A little sidestep there by Georgia Cox. Cox then has to circle with it again, being pressured from behind the whole way by Taylor Martin. And then it comes out to midfield. Megan Jeremias got a foot on it first, but then Columbia takes over. Shelby Hawk sends it back out to midfield, and here is Van Dyke. She got shoved off of that ball, and Taylor Martin takes over and sends the ball back up into Mock.
Trouble.
Mock with a screamer of a shot that goes high. And another goal kick restart coming up here for Carly Van Dyke.
So far, you haven't called Mock's name.
Not much, no.
Very much today.
Yeah.
I mean, the Collinsville defense has done a really good job of keeping her in check.
That they have. Shelby Hawk is all over it. I think that's her assignment today. And Hawk sends that ball back out to the midfield logo. Columbia tries to take over from there, but a little bit of a misplay. Here comes Addie Johnson. Johnson comes in on the right side, tries to squeak a pass, just didn't get it over to the left far enough.
No, she played it too deep. She needs to cut that ball back and maybe slide Megan Jeremias through.
Oh, Jeremias was coming up the middle, almost untouched. Nice little bit of dribbling there by Wolfel. Wolfel will just send it back to Ostrike, and she'll send it out to midfield off of Van Dyke. I thought that for a minute that hit her arm.
Just got a touch on it.
And now a foul called against Columbia's Taylor Martin. Collinsville will have a free kick from about 40 yards away.
Did not see what the infraction was there.
There's been a bunch of those today.
Yeah.
All right, golden opportunity here for Collinsville, as Lainey Belandis is getting ready to strike this ball from 40 yards out.
Columbia keeping the Kahok offense up at the 18.
Ball is going to trail out the other side and off of the head of Jordan Gary, but that goes over the net.
Not sure how she got her head on that. She had a.
I don't know either. And how did it go that high?
I'm not sure, but she had a Columbia defender, right in front of her, but she was still able to get up and get her head on that ball.
Sam Schmooky comes back into the game, and headed toward the bench is Caroline Tebow for Columbia. The only substitution made thus far here in the second half. That ball stays low. Johnson has it bank off of her shins. Jeremias with it. Tries to poke it up to Jordan Gary, who was going to fly up the middle, but just getting a piece of that ball was the defender. And now ends up going out of bounds because our two girls were trying to go after the same ball. Shelby Hawk misfired on that one, but sends it up to Addie Johnson anyway. And now out to midfield where Columbia will take over. There is Glover. Glover sends it up, and it's found by Georgia Cox, but she sent a pass to no one in particular. Jeremias was in the neighborhood, but not really close.
We're rushing everything. We're forcing and rushing everything at this point in the second half.
Out of bounds by Columbia. Throw in. Just misses Gary. And now Van Dyke to Gary off of her head. And it comes down at midfield. Here is Gary once again. She'll circle. She has Riley Matthews providing some defense. Gets it over to Call. Call gets it over to Van Dyke. Van Dyke trying to skip a pass over here to Johnson, but that was well out in front of Addie. And then Collinsville gets it again and takes it all the way down into the offensive zone. Here's Jordan Gary. She finds the ball, comes upfield to Jeremias. Jeremias slips and falls, but still manages to stay with the ball. Still manages and tries to put a shot on goal. That's off of a body, and that is going to end up being a corner kick for Collinsville. It'll be their third of this game.
Good effort by Megan Jeremias.
She didn't give up on it.
No, she wasn't giving up at all. Good job staying with it. I was hopeful she was getting a shot off there, but unfortunately she did not.
Morgan Lang checks into the game. Will take over for Johnson. And it'll be Georgia Cox who will take this corner kick all the way over into the far side corner. Coming up on 29 minutes to go here in the second half. Still plenty of time.
Let's get ahead on this one right here.
Here is the corner kick from Cox. Comes into the post and just missed. Jordan Gary had a foot on it, but that ball went the opposite direction that she wanted it to go, and it just goes wide here over on this near side post.
Right place, right time. Just could not get the foot on it.
Goal kick restart handled by Columbia, and it skips all the way back out to midfield for Carly Call. Call trying to wrestle that ball away from Matthews, and it's taken over there by Lang. Lang sends it back to the defense. Belandis sends it all the way up, and that ball heads toward the sideline, but kept it in by Lang. Lang to Jeremias. She's got some room. Jeremias, get out of the way. What a nice play there by Ostrich. And then a shot, and that one goes right through the uprights. Boy, oh boy, that was a golden opportunity there by the Kahawks.
It's a great save. Great challenge by the Columbia goalkeeper coming out, putting Jeremias under pressure, making her shoot earlier than she wanted. Played that perfectly.
That she did. That was probably the best opportunity by both schools here in this game. Columbia sends us back to action. Out to midfield it goes. Collinsville trying to take over once again. Here is Carly Call. Call sends it up to Jeremias. Jeremias splits the defense, sends it over here to Lang. Lang trying to send it back and does so to Call. Carly looking up, finds Jordan Gary right in front of her. Jordan trying to work her magic over here on this near side sideline. Pops one up and trying to free Lang. That ball comes out for Call. Call back over to Jordan Gary. Gary comes up the middle, looking for a little bit of help, switches directions, and sends it over to Cox. Georgia sends it all the way over to the far side, and trying to get bumped off of that ball is Ashley Giannini, but she stays with it and throws it up in front of the 18-yard box where the defense kicks it all the way back out. Shelby Hawk, though, wants to keep it in the offensive zone. She does so off of the head of Gary. Georgia Cox trying to track it down. She can't. It's going to go back to the defense once again, and the defender will send it all the way back out to midfield. Shelby Hawk says, I want more offensive zone time. Sends it up. Here is Georgia Cox. Georgia trying to thread the needle over to Jordan Gary. Does so. Jordan sends it over here to Lang. Lang on the right wing, trying to move into the box area. Sends it up front once again for Jordan Gary. She gets bumped off the ball and then gets...
Great job by that Columbia defender.
Does exactly what she needed to do.
Yeah.
Here's Shelby Hawk once again, who doesn't want the ball to go into the defensive zone. But it does, but not for long, as Belandis will send a high pop fly all the way over into the midfield area. And it comes down over onto the far side sideline. Collinsville stays with it once again. Sends it out to midfield. And the Kahawks will try to track it down one more time. All the way back to Carly Van Dyke, and she'll send it up to the sideline, but that is right into the hands of Sydney Carroll. She doesn't play anymore.
I think she pretends from time to time.
Yeah.
I think she had an injury from...
Yeah, she finally got that boot off.
Did she get the boot off? All right.
Columbia substitution number 3.
Up the sideline, whistle on the play as Alexa Malding checks back into the game for Columbia. And a whistle will give Columbia a free kick right in front of Sydney Carroll.
So far, second half. Pressure's been good by the Kahawks.
Yeah. I did not ask anyone to come up for the post-game interview, so I guess we won't have one of those today.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
It's Saturday. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Here is Mock. She sends one screaming up into the box, but no one there to help it out, and that ball will go across the line, and Carly Van Dyke will be the next one to strike this ball. Coming up on 25 minutes to go here in this second half. No score as of yet between Collinsville and Columbia. Of course, these two schools are not in the same conference, so if you're thinking about overtime, that won't happen. Maybe.
Shouldn't.
And all the way over on the far side, up the sideline it goes. Trying to track it down is Giannini. And she ends up knocking it out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for Columbia just outside of the 18-yard box on the far side. Throw-in comes down and is closer to Sophia Kiefner than it is to anyone wearing blue. Now Kiefner trying to turn with it, and that's out of bounds.
I thought she almost escaped out of that with the ball.
Well, it'll belong to Collinsville anyway, but it'll be a throw-in from way down yonder.
Nope.
Well, it's going to be a kick.
Yeah.
Probably better. You can get the ball a lot farther on a kick than you can on a throw-in. And that ball will make its way toward midfield. Gary will send it farther down to the midfield area and then poked away by Columbia. And then popped up into the air. Who wants it? Off of the head of Woelfel first. Here are the Eagles. They try to bring it forward, but Collinsville's defense is to the task and saves that ball for the moment, and back to midfield it goes. Far side sideline again, sent up into the middle. Shelby Hawk trying to track it down. She can't. Carly Call tried to get ahead on it. She couldn't. Comes onto the foot of Woelfel, then onto the foot of Mock, but Shelby Hawk is in a wrestling match with Mock.
Yeah, there's
no
foul
whistle
there.
on the play, and Collinsville comes away with the ball. Georgia Cox sends the ball all the way up to Jeremias. Jeremias, she's the lone wolf back there with a bunch of blue jerseys, but somehow manages to skip past one of those defenders. Sends the ball all the way over to Lang. Lang has that ball settled down just a moment, and Carly Call will take over. Call sends it up to Jordan Gary. Gary with her head up, looking, finding Lang. Lang over here on the near side sideline. Tries to send a crossing pass into the middle, but that is off of a body part of one of the Columbia players. I thought for a moment it was off an arm, but I guess not. Collinsville gets to keep it. Another throw-in coming up here for Carly Call. First, Collinsville wants to make a substitution.
Allison Hennessy.
Hennessy will come back into the game. And now Call ready to go. Throws it down for Jordan Gary. Gary steps on the ball and sends it back over to Call. Call trying to find Jeremias. She does so. Jeremias directing traffic. She told Lang to go over to that sideline. Lang does. Now she needs to get it around this defender. Pokes it up into the corner for Gary. There's a ball up front. Comes down. And just at the top of the box, there's a try there by Kira Van Dyke, but she didn't get a lot on it, and it ends up going across the line.
She didn't. She had a Columbia Eagles midfielder right on her tail. I think it forced her to take the shot before she was ready. Might have even got a piece of it.
Goal kick restart being handled here by Sydney Meaner for Columbia. 22 minutes to go here in the second half. Ball down, and it finds Gary. Gary sends it back out to the midfield circle for Cox. Cox sends it over to Call. Carly over here to Lang. Lang back to Call. She had Gary streaking up that right wing. Here is Lang. Now she tries to pass it to Gary, and Gary had already left that spot.
Those two are not on the same page right now.
No, they're not. Loose ball taken care of there by the defense for Columbia, and that ball will go all the way into the Kahok bench. And a kick saving a beauty by Jody Munoz over there. That ball goes from one bench to the other bench.
Yeah, Morgan Lang and Jordan Gary are not on the same page on this right side. When Jordan's asking for the ball, Morgan isn't playing it, and then when she's not asking for it, Morgan's playing it. So they need to figure it out. Handball.
Rose checks back into the game for Columbia. Handball will stop the action, and Columbia will have a free kick from midfield. All the way over on the far side sideline once again. Ball back in play. Stays low. Pops up into the air, and Gary trying to track it down. She can't. Shelby Hawk got there first, Lang got there first, but couldn't do anything with it. And now sent up into the front of the 18-yard box and sent out of bounds.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
There's no
She
reason.
hurried.
We're rushing everything, and she had all the time in the world to take a touch, pick your head up, and find the next pass.
Yeah.
That's our problem right now.
That ball handled by Carly Van Dyke. Would they consider that a shot on goal? Because it did bounce to her.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'll say it does. Because, we were in Edwardsville the other night. You and I didn't think that they had a shot on goal.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, I looked at the stats, and we had one.
Okay.
I don't remember it.
I don't either.
That ball comes down. Collinsville is in the offensive zone, but they don't have control of the ball. And they still don't. Popped up, back out to midfield. Trying to chase it down is Shelby Hawk, but Mock is there first. Mock trying to set it up for Woeful. Woeful comes in, takes a shot, and it goes wide.
Kahok defense dodges a bullet there. Woeful sending the ball just outside the left post. She was streaking down totally unmarked.
Oh, yeah. She couldn't settle the ball down enough to get a proper shot on, so she had to do the shot on the run. And that ball was still bouncing when she did it, so it missed its mark. Van Dyke sends it back out towards midfield. And that is going to be a over-the-bat call against Columbia. Collinsville will have a free kick, but it'll be from about 80 yards out. Boandis. She'll take this kick. Sunshine has disappeared for the time being.
Sure has.
All the way down, and it finds Jeremias, but Jeremias couldn't settle it down. Collinsville over onto the far side once again. That ball will end up going into the Columbia bench, and it'll be a Eagles throw-in as Alexa Malding takes care of that, and quick time. And Collinsville trying to chase it down. Here is Giannini to Bolandis. Back over to Giannini. Oh, was that on the face? I guess
face,
not.
Head, something.
Here is Columbia with another opportunity up front, but Collinsville, they'll get there first. Send it all the way back to midfield, but no one home for Collinsville as Schmucki gets a hold of the ball. Sends it over to her teammate Martin. Martin sends it back up, but Bolandis is the first one to meet it. And then Collinsville will send it deeper over toward the midfield area, but no one is there once again. except for Lindsey Glover. Off of the head of Hawk and rolling toward the Kahok bench. Comes out to midfield. Collinsville trying to get some more forward progress going on here. They'll send it all the way up that far sideline, but it is met there first by Meaner. And now back up to midfield. Columbia takes over once again. Get the ball onto the foot of Matthews. Matthews sends one up the middle for Mock, but Van Dyke came out of that goal area and scooped that one up before any further damage could be done.
Get to the ball, Purple.
Ball bounces around for a while, and first one is Collinsville Shelby Hawk, and trying to track it down is Jeremias. She does so at the same time trying to fend off Ava Schmidt as Jeremias comes over around the far side of the box, turns, takes a shot, and it goes too high.
She did everything right. Just couldn't get over the top of the ball, keep it below the bar.
Yeah, ball had a little bit too much air underneath it when she struck it.
Right.
Addie Johnson comes back into the game. She'll take the place of Morgan Lang, and Kiefner comes back in as well. Goal kick restart coming up here for Columbia as we are down to 16:40 left to play here in this second half. Out to midfield, and it gets past Giannini, finds Shelby, over to Belandis, and up to midfield once again. Now a loose ball. Staying with it was Kiefner. Nicely done. Up to Gary. Jordan trying to squeeze in between a couple of defenders. Collinsville sends the ball up, but Columbia will send it all back. And now Columbia brings the ball up the far sideline, trying to find Mock, but Belandis will get there first and send it back behind the Kahok bench.
Columbia is clearly trying to find or connect with Mock there at that central striker position. Collinsville still doing a good job of keeping her in check.
Throw in will come in front of the Kahok bench. And then back out. This time it'll belong to Collinsville. Giannini throws it in and throws it over everyone's head. So Columbia, the first one to get there, but Giannini trying to track it down once again, and then it heads toward the Collinsville bench, but saved by Kiefner, who gets it over to Gary. Gary back over to, well, we're at the midfield, and Jeremias tried to get that ball up. I don't know what she would have done when she would have done that because there wasn't anybody over there to help her out. Kahawks trying to get back onto the offensive side of things. Columbia has spent a couple of minutes in their half of the field, and now another opportunity for Mock, and a goal that goes outside as Carly Van Dyke came way out to challenge Mock, and the challenge paid off.
Yep, I don't have a problem with the decision for her to come out. You only had one Collinsville defender back in Belandis, and she was headed back to cover the goal when Carly vacated. She did a good job of the challenge and got a good result out of it.
Sure did. So back to action. Columbia, they come away with the ball once again right in front of the Kahawk bench as that ball heads right into the bench area and out of bounds, and it'll stay Columbia's ball. Lindsey Glover will do the throw in right at the end of the Kahawk bench in front of the coaching staff. Sends it up the line, but that is off of the head of Kiefner and out of bounds, so we'll just move up the throw in.
Coach Munoz seems to have found an 11 that she's at least comfortable with. She hasn't subbed too much in this second half.
No, just Lang and Johnson. And Kiefner, I think, has come in once, but other than that, no. Loose ball, and that ball is going to be picked up and sent forward by Collinsville, but it missed the mark, which was
I don't know
intended
why
for
we're just
Johnson.
kicking it. You had 30 yards of real estate to save it and dribble it out.
Yeah, dribble the ball up there and make everybody move back.
Don't understand.
There's a shot toward the goal, and that's an easy save for Van Dyke. Carly sends the ball back out toward midfield. On the ground, finds a Collinsville player. That ball, well, the offside flag is up.
Over and back, yep.
Yeah.
So she started in an offside position and came back and received it.
So Collinsville will have another free kick, but again, this will be from about 80 yards away. Belandis once again ready to take it. 13 minutes to go here in this second half. No score still between Collinsville and Columbia. That ball sent down a pretty good sizable chunk of real estate there, but it comes back over here to this near side as Carly Call couldn't track down that ball. And now Belandis also having the same misfortune. Here is Matthews. Matthews sends it into the middle to Mock. Mock trying to pop it up and help out a teammate, but that ball hits one of the Collinsville players and comes down, but Columbia is still with it until Jordan Gary steps in and takes a steal. She gets bumped off the ball once again, and Sydney Meaner, that was Taylor Martin providing the defense. Now Johnson will just send it back to Belandis. Belandis trying to send it back to Addie Johnson. Johnson trying to settle it down. She does so, trying to find some room to thread a pass up the line, but Jeremias was kind of caught in the middle and never could get to that ball. So Columbia, they'll try to take advantage once again. They'll send the ball all the way back into the offensive zone. Giannini will poke the ball over to Van Dyke, and Van Dyke will send it up the sideline, but sends it out of bounds. It's not what she wanted to do.
No. We struggle to build out of the back. Right now we're just blasting everything and hoping that, I find somebody in purple. And, that's not Lady Kahok soccer. At least it's not what it's been over the last few years.
So, still an opportunity here for both of these teams to pick up that first goal, and if they do, that might be just enough to pull out a win.
Be a backbreaker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Collinsville, of course, looking for their first win of the year. Got their first goal of the year in Thursday night's game here against Belleville East, something to build off of. But all in all, not bad. Columbia came in here at 4-0, and they've been a powerhouse for the last few years, so a pretty good team. Collinsville has numbers back there, but still Columbia manages to get off a little bit of offensive zone time. Here is Johnson. Addie, sideline. And,
is that a rolled ankle? Yikes.
That was one of those
Could have been.
Step close to the ball, and that was not a good throw-in.
No, not at all.
That needed to come up the line a little bit. Jeremias trying to sneak up.
See, we're panicking. We're not doing anything here.
Yeah, over to Jeremias. Near side sideline. She skips around a couple of defenders and gets it over to Gary. Jordan tries going back toward the midfield area, and we'll just send it back to Belandis. And Belandis almost mishit that ball. Boy, I tell you what, because that would have been mock 1v1 all the way. Gary directing traffic out there. Sends the ball over to Carly Call, to Addie Johnson. Johnson sends it back over to Jordan Gary. A lot of ball movement, but not a lot of real estate being gained here. Here is a loose ball picked up by Johnson, who gets it over to Cox. Cox got pushed off the ball and then gets pushed down. No call. Now we're going to – No, we're not. He put the whistle in his mouth and didn't make the call.
He was about to.
Yeah, he was. Here is Mock, and
That's
Mock now.
Go
now you're going to call one against Shelby, huh?
Yep.
Man, oh man. Free kick coming up here for Columbia, and this one's going to be from about 29 yards out.
Jordan pleading her case to deaf ears.
Yep.
Carly Call looks gassed on this right backside, or this right wing back spot. I think that's part of the reason why she's panicking so much. Just
Mock ready to take this kick. She does so, and it's on top of the net. Woo, boy, oh boy. I don't even see how Van Dyke did not even try to jump up and get that ball as close as it was. But if she would have, it would have went out of bounds. It would have been a corner kick.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. I still got it. Collinsville dodges a bullet. Low kick. Doesn't make it to midfield. Headed back. Belandis trying to get there first. She will, and she'll throw it all the way over to the far sideline. It'll be out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in coming up here for Columbia. They don't waste any time, although they could have moved up about 10 yards before they took that kick. And now we're going to have a corner kick. This will be the second one coming up for Columbia.
Hawks need to dig deep here. Got 8 minutes left. Certainly don't give up anything here on this corner kick. Make sure you got your marks. Follow your runners.
Mock. I'm surprised that she takes these corner kicks. I figured they'd rather have her out front.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. High. Wind kind of pushes that one. Stayed up in the air for a while, and another one on top of the net. These are just missing.
I feel like Columbia is kind of starting to get the better part of the play here in the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sustaining a little bit more pressure on that Kahok defense that, for the most part, is held pretty strong all day long.
And now we get a call. That one, push down of Jordan Gary. So Collinsville will get a free kick, but, it's going to be from about 80 yards out. I'd like to have one of those that are 29-yarders.
I would like to see Giannini drop square at this 40-yard line marker, and maybe we can build it out of the back, but instead we're just going to kick it in and hope somebody gets it.
Yeah, kind of like hockey, dump and chase.
Yeah. Drives me nuts.
Yep. Does when I watch Blues game, too. I just quit jumping and chasing. There's another call, and this one's going to be from about 40 yards out, so we're getting closer. Coming up on 7 minutes to play here in this second half. An opportunity here for Georgia Cox from 40 yards away. Use that wind to your advantage. Cox ready to strike it. She does so. Yeah, see the wind pushed it because she went right down the middle with the ball, but the wind pushed it over to that left-hand side. Aimed the ball to the left-hand side, let the wind push it back toward the middle. Throw in for Collins.
Throw-in's way down there, Sophie.
Yeah.
By the flag. Keep going.
Throw in. Comes into the box. Right back to Kiefner it goes. She'll pop one toward the goal, but it's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick restart here for Columbia. 6:20 to go. Time is getting low here. That ball sent out front. Jordan Gary, boy, I tell you, if it wouldn't have popped off of her leg that hard, she probably would have had a chance to bring that ball forward.
Jordan does a real good job with her first touch, and that one got away from her.
Yeah. Back in front of the box. Collinsville looking for the ball. Try to get some offense going on here. Here's Jeremias. Jeremias off of the backside of one of the defenders. Collinsville sends it back into the box, and Columbia will send it back out. Carly Call trying to wrestle away that ball. She couldn't quite get there. Kahok still trying to come up with the ball. Overstepping it was Giannini. Now Giannini over there trying to play a little defense as Van Dyke steps on the ball and takes it up, but we have a whistle on the play, and it's going to be another free kick coming up here for Columbia. Far side sideline, kick on the way, stays low. Columbia, they come up with it. Sent back by Wolfel. Off of the head of Shelby Hawk. Collinsville trying to get a header in there as Van Dyke got bumped off the ball right when she was jumping up to try to connect with it. Back out to midfield it goes. Sent over here to this near sideline for Schmucki. Schmucki sends it over into the middle once again for Wolfel. Wolfel get knocked off the ball, and Collinsville will let it roll to Van Dyke, and Van Dyke will get us back to action. 5 minutes to play here in this second half. No score between Collinsville and Columbia. That ball comes down, almost hit Addie Johnson in the hand, but she stays with it. Johnson pokes it up, trying to find Jeremias. Yeah, didn't get enough miles per hour on that pass. And then it comes back to the defense. Here is Carly Call. Call gets tripped up by Schmucki. And another free kick coming up here. Belandis won't waste any time. Sends it up to Jeremias. Jeremias tried to stop that ball with a little step stop, but it ends up going underneath her foot.
Whose name we haven't called all game is Megan Summer.
Yeah.
She's not been in the match all game.
Ball gets away and sent out of bounds by Columbia, so Collinsville will have a throw-in right at the end of their bench. Ball in. Columbia takes over. They send it up. Got caught in a little quagmire of bodies over there, and Collinsville is the one who comes away with it. And a nice little patient job of waiting to find an open person, but Addie Johnson couldn't collect the ball in time before Columbia takes over. And now at midfield, sent forward by Taylor Martin, and then poked ahead, trying to find once again Reese Wolfel. Wolfel with the ball, and then gets it up onto the foot of Martin. Martin sends it back to Matthews. Matthews trying to poke it up into the outside edge of the box. She does so. Sent up into the middle. Mock couldn't get a shot because Shelby Hawk was all over her pocket. And then the ball loose. Comes out over onto the far side once again. Out of the box they come. Here comes Collinsville with the ball, and Jordan Gary gets in the way and stops it for a moment. And then it comes out to Shelby Hawk. Hawk pokes it back out toward midfield. Here is a gift by one of the defenders for Columbia, right to Jordan Gary, but she makes the mistake on sending the ball up and off of an ankle of one of the midfielders. Back out to midfield we go. Trying to track it down is Georgia Cox. Cox can't get there. And then Columbia sends it back out to the midfield logo once again. Van Dyke trying to find Jordan Gary. Couldn't. Here's Addie Johnson. Waited too long to strike that ball, and that allowed Wolfel to come in and pick her pocket. Over the backside, Belandis will get there first, and she'll send it back out to Van Dyke. Carly will just send it across the sideline. You know, Belandis could have done that.
Yeah.
Well, that ball didn't go out of bounds.
Didn't go out of bounds.
It didn't go out of bounds.
I'll
Okay.
give her credit. Yep.
Yeah.
But we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Here is Cox with it, and then sent right back into the middle to no one.
Collinsville's just not connecting their passes right now.
No, they are not.
Got to remain composed. Got to remain patient.
2 minutes to go here in this second half. Ball sent over onto the far side. Mock trying to chase it down, but Giannini steps in front of her. Nicely done there by Ashley. Sends it up to the far side sideline. Collinsville trying to get a little bit of offense going on here in the waning moments, and that ball ends up going out of bounds. Collinsville will have a throw in from in between the benches with about 1:40 left to play here in this second half. Kahawks couldn't get anything out of that throw in. And now they'll send it back down to the offensive zone once again, off of a defender. Collinsville tracks it down. Georgia Cox gets the ball up. Jordan Gary in a foot race, and a try there, but that was a save by Ostrike. She struck that ball with about, maybe 3 feet in between them?
Yeah, another great job by the Columbia goalkeeper, coming out, challenging, forcing Jordan Gary to play a ball when she wasn't ready.
There's Columbia with an opportunity in the waning moments of this game as that ball ends up going across the end line, and we're going to have a corner kick. 1 minute to go here in this contest, and Columbia is going to try to end it with a corner kick here and see if they can generate something that looks like a shot on goal.
Collins got to remain mentally strong here, less than a minute. Make sure you stay with your marks. They're pushing all numbers up at this point.
Here's the kick. It stays high and doesn't even go out in front. It goes right on top of the net. So with 30 seconds left, Collinsville will have a goal kick restart, and they'll have just a little bit of time to try to move that ball up for a shot on goal. See if we can pull out a last-second victory here. Van Dyke, still with 20 seconds left, just now strikes the ball. It's not going to quite make it to midfield. Off of the head of Gary. And sent back into the defensive zone. Here is Shelby Hawk. She'll pop that ball straight up. And then the Eagles try to make their move once again. It finds the foot of Mock, and a shot and a save by Van Dyke, and that is going to do it. The buzzer sounds, and this game comes to a close. A 0-0 tie. So Collinsville now 0-4-2 on the year, and I got to tell you, man, that was a pretty fun game to watch, although there was no offense as far as goals scored. It was still entertaining.
No, it was a very evenly played match. I'm very happy Collinsville remained competitive and didn't give up a goal early that would have resulted in an avalanche of other goals. So something to build on moving into next week. Let's hope the Kahawks can have a good week of practice and be ready to go.
All right, sir. We'll see you Tuesday at Belleville West.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Brett Bourne. My name is Todd Duke. We're going to take a break here and talk a little bit about this game as we wrap things up on the Kahawk Sports Network.
Do you have a big land improvement project that requires some outside help? Call Petroff Trucking Company. The Petroff Companies have been shaping the metro area since 1975. Family owned and operated, Petroff Trucking Company can do the job and do it right. Hauling, excavating, and grading, they do that and more. Petroff Companies also has roll-off dumpster rentals. They also specialize in dirt and rock sales. Petroff Trucking Company can help you develop your land for your needs. Petroff Trucking Company. Check out their website, petrofftrucking.com, or give them a call, 618-797-6100. Petroff Trucking Company, shaping the metro area since 1975.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KayhawkSports.com and the Kahawk Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the Event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent customer service. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or on Facebook at All Pro Tees. Or call All Pro Tees at 344-2200.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Ogle with Ogle Auctions, and we hope you are enjoying tonight's game, and go Kahawks. Hey, check us out. Every Sunday night, we have an online auction at www.ogleauctions.com. Everything from grandma's china to grandma's motorcycle helmet, it's all here at Ogle Auctions every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Check us out, and we will see you soon.
Plumbing or electrical problems? Is your AC or heater on the fritz? There are dozens of companies out there, but do you really know who you're letting in your home? Trust Tiger. Our technicians are clean-cut, drug-free, and background checked. What other company can make this bold statement? Our 24-hour emergency service will ensure your plumbing, heating, AC, and electric are up and running no matter what time of day it is. Schedule your appointment today. Tiger Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical Services. We earn our stripes every day.
And once again, we welcome you back to Kahok Stadium. Yes, I know you're looking at some penalty kicks, but this is just practice. The game has ended in a 0-0 tie, but the two teams have agreed to go ahead and practice penalty kick phase just in case they find themselves in that situation a little bit later on in the year. So the game comes to a close, 0-0. Collinsville now 0-4-2. Columbia now 4-0-1. Collinsville outshot Columbia here in this game 5-4. Kahawks had 3 corner kicks to Columbia's 2 corner kicks, but the game does end in a 0-0 tie. Next up for us, well, guess what? We are back to some more soccer action. This one's going to be on the road on Tuesday, Collinsville at Belleville West. That game's scheduled for a 6:30 start. Then Wednesday afternoon, we're back to baseball action as Granite City will invade Woodland Park and Fletcher Field to battle your Kahawks. And then Thursday, we are back at home in Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium for the Southwestern Conference Boys Volleyball opener as Collinsville takes on Belleville East. Zach Roseman has a couple of games scheduled next week as well on the Kahok Broadcast Club Students Network, as he's supposed to do the softball game at Edwardsville on Thursday and then the baseball game at home against Mascoutah on Friday. But we'll have to pay attention to the weather and see if those two games take place. A big thank you to Jordan Gary joining us on the pregame show, and a big thank you once again to Brett Borum for taking some time out of his day and spending it here with us as a color commentator. That ball was almost safe. So my name is Todd Duke, and until Tuesday, everybody have yourselves a fantastic weekend.